that connection with the US that can never be broken, really, you know. And I get hundreds of stories every year. I meet hundreds of Americans, if not more, and they all have the same story. I'm home tracing my ancestry. And of course, it's a very common story, you know, and I hear it all the time. And that's why, you know. So yeah, so that's really what happened back in the 1800s in Ireland. And you have to remember, back in the 1800s in Ireland, we had 9 million people in the country. The population never recovered. Even today, we struggle to reach 5 million. And that's all because of the famine back then. We lost a lot of our traditions back then. We lost our language back then, you know. We even lost our Irish language. So it had severe consequences. Okay. Okay, that's it now. I'm going to tell you a joke now because cheer you up. Do you want to hear a joke? Anybody want to hear a joke?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to be very careful now because I can't tell you the amount of trouble I got in telling inappropriate jokes. But if you do want to hear inappropriate jokes, I will be in the pub on the island later on. So come to me, I have some really good ones, but I'm certainly not going to tell them today, and we have loads of kids on the bus. Okay, so here's a good one, and here's a clean one anyway. I won't say a good one, you decide whether it's good or not. There was an Irishman, there was an Englishman, and there was a Frenchman. And they were out in the wilds, and they were captured by the natives. And the natives said to them, we're going to kill you now, we're going to make nice canoes from your skin. Have you any last request? So they called up the Frenchman first. And they said, before we kill you and make a nice canoe from your skin, what's your last request? And the Frenchman thought for a minute and he said, I would like a knife, please. So they gave him a knife and he slit his throat. He fell to the ground, he said, Vive la France. So then they called up the Englishman. And they said, before we kill you now, make a nice canoe from your skin. What's your last request? And the Englishman said, oh, I would like a knife too, please. So they gave him a knife. He slit his throat, he fell to the ground, he said, God save the Queen. So then they called up the Irishman. And they said, now before we kill you and make a nice canoe from your skin, what's your last request? And the Irishman thought for a minute and he looked at him and he said, I would like a fork, sir, please. So they gave him a fork. And the Irishman started to stab himself all over his body from head to toe. He looked at him, he said, you'll never make a canoe out of me. Do you like that one? Pretty harmless, isn't it? I always tell my joke coming up this part of the road, right? Because you know the way you get that awkward silence? I get a lot of awkward silence after my jokes. So, you know, it's all about timing on a bus. So if you tell them in the right place, you can get away with this stuff, right? So I always tell it coming up here, and at the top of the hill here, there's a lovely view. So just as I hit the punchline then, if it's a bad joke, everybody forgets about it straight away. Okay, I have one for the kids. Are you listening up, kids? Do you want to hear a joke? Okay, I presume you do. Okay, what do you call a zoo with one dog in it? It's a Shih Tzu. Sorry, Mom and Dad, it's a bit of a... My 11-year-old told me that the other day, right? And he's out to me and he goes, Daddy, I have a joke for you. So he told me, and I said, geez, that's a good one, Nathan. I said, I'll tell them on the bus. And he goes, no, don't, Daddy. He goes, because he said there's a bad word in it, you know. It's not really. Okay.
Look at those cows. Dogs not so bad. Dogs not bad. What's this one?
So he was afraid of the shit.